10XL. Stay cooler with Bueller. Brought to you by Sonny's Barbecue. Local pitmasters since 68. Here's Matt Hayes.
Oh, yeah. It's time, baby. It is time. Ball is back. Welcome into the Bueller Air and Plumbing College Kickoff. Brought to you by Sonny's Real Pit Barbecue, where it's all college ball all the time. It's just got a sense of peace to it, actually, is what it does. It just feels right. We're getting ready to hit September. Ball is in the air. If you're driving down to Gainesville or over to Tallahassee, or you're just setting up for a feast of a holiday weekend of football, we got you covered with the next white-knuckle 60-minute ride.
We got 30 minutes for the rest of our life.
Thank you, Timmy. We're going twice that, baby.
We got 30 minutes for the rest of our life.
Yes, we do. Yes! I'm Matt Hayes. He's JJ LaSelva in the box, making it all sound good. And yes, we are finally back to fall Saturdays. Eating too much, drinking too much, arguing about teams and quarterbacks and stadiums and mascots and conferences and,
Uniform colors was a big topic this week in Gainesville.
Everything that makes the college game better than the NFL. The framework of the college game, everyone, is closer to the NFL now. With players earning, free player movement, helmet communication, and even the 2-minute warning, although we call it in the college game the 2-minute timeout. Thank you, okay? But the soul of the game, the very soul of the game will never, ever change. And that's why it's so beautiful right now. That's why this is a blessed day, because we are less than 24 hours away from kickoff in Gainesville. We are 21 hours away from kickoff in Gainesville. Holy moly. We have waited 8 long months for this. 8 long months, and now it's here. And it's not just Miami, Florida, and Gainesville, because it's a big week of games. This is the best part about college football, too. And with the expansion into the new postseason is now you're getting more of these fantastic non-conference games, like Georgia and Clemson in Atlanta, which for some reason it's just been overlooked for the last couple months. What a huge game that is. A huge game with so many, tentacles. It's what does Georgia do now after it was finally, for lack of a better way of saying this, exposed in the SEC championship game by Alabama? How does Georgia respond from that? There's no more Bowers. There's no more McConkey. Let's see what Carson Beck can do without those 2 security blankets. Clemson. Dabo Swinney. Dabo. 2-time national championship coach Dabo, who, unlike everyone else in the college football planet, he's not hopping in the portal. In fact, he likes the way he does it, thank you. And this now has become a referendum of what Dabo is doing at Clemson. Because if Georgia goes out there and hangs a number on Clemson like Georgia has been apt to do in these non-conference season-opening games, just think about what they did to Oregon a couple years ago. If something like that happens and it's 44-7, my goodness, is it going to get ugly in Clemson. Notre Dame at Texas A&M. Penn State at West Virginia. USC and LSU on Sunday. All those just for starters. Just for starters now. Woo! New coaches at 3 of the 4 playoff participants last season. Think about that. Brand new coaches. 3 of the 4 playoff participants last season. A new 12-team playoff. And for the first time since 2006, no Nick Saban to kick around. I mean, in fact, if I had a bottle of champagne, JJ, I'd pop it right now, and you and I would toast to the health of this perfectly imperfect sport.
Well, luckily we have a liquor store right next door.
I was literally just going to say that. If you're out there eating at the all-you-can-eat place, and we know it's packed all the time, right? And you want to just go next door and grab a bottle of champagne and bring it to 1010, you better believe JJ and I would
love that.
We will pop it on the air in front of all of you on, watching on the live stream, of course. Yeah, we'll do that. You better believe that. It's easy to get involved in the program, all right? Jump on the text line, brought to you by our good friends at Lifetime Enclosures, 641-1010, or watch, yes, on the live stream, 1010XL YouTube page, the wildly successful now 1010XL YouTube page. And if you really want to see JJ and I drink some champagne, you bring that in, baby. At the end of this first segment, okay, at the end of the first segment here, we'll open the phone lines, and JJ will take the fourth caller at 641-1010 for our weekly pick segment where you're going to call, and he's going to say, all right, I'm going to call you back, okay, in about 30 minutes. And then what you'll do is you will pick against us. And if you beat JJ and I, not beat me or beat JJ, if you beat both of us, you're going to earn a sweet Sunny swag bag. All right? We've got our guy Rick Ballou coming in at the bottom of the hour for his weekly FSU report, and we just could not be more geeked about the start of this season. All right, JJ, let's run out of the tunnel, baby.
Now let's run out of the tunnel. Brought to you by Cannons of Jacksonville for all your towing needs.
All right, out of the tunnels, brought to you by our good friends. It's Cannons of Jackson, family-owned and operated, towing and custom welding business, serving Jacksonville since 1950. You need a trailer hitch installation or top-quality towing products like gooseneck hitches, fifth-wheel hitches, weight distributing, and tow bars, all at wholesale prices. Go see Cannons of Jackson or call them 904-733-3524. Okay. Hold on tight. Panic. That's the only way this thing ends tomorrow in Gainesville. Panic. In Gainesville or Coral Gables, panic will eventually set in around 7 p.m. tomorrow night. And no matter how this thing plays out at the Swamp, no matter good or bad it looks for Florida or Miami, one team's fan base will be giddy, and the others will be in full-blown panic mode. Two programs striving to return to glory. One hasn't won a conference championship since 2008. The other has never won a conference championship in the league they joined nearly 2 decades ago. Two coaches hired in the same season have combined to win 23 of 50 games over the last 2 years at two blue blood college football programs. Let me say that number again. They've won a combined, Florida and Miami, 23 of 50 games over the last 2 years. And if you want to do that quick math, that's 27 combined losses. The brief tenures of both Billy Napier and Mario Cristobal are eerily similar. Napier's won 11 games, Cristobal's won 12. Neither has beaten Florida State, which you know Ballou just absolutely loves. Both have had glimpses of big game performances in 2023. Florida's win over Tennessee, Miami's win over Texas A&M, and both just had unmitigated galling losses. Florida's clown car show of running the kicking team on the field, while the offense was trying to spike the ball for a game-winning field goal, which of course ended in an overtime loss to Arkansas, and Miami's unthinkable failure to simply take a knee and beat Georgia Tech. And Tech came back, of course, and won the game. These have been 2 long, hard, torturous seasons for the Gators and Canes. 2 coaches, both fan bases desperately want to succeed, and 2 fan bases who will absolutely turn on the loser when the game ends tomorrow night in Gainesville. Now, the only difference between Napier and Cristobal in Florida and Miami in this equation is the near future. The Gators and Napier must navigate the most difficult schedule in all of college football. The Canes and Cristobal have one of the easiest in all of Power 4 football. So, while Miami could sustain a loss because of the hope of an ACC title and a spot in the playoff, remember, all you got to do is win one of those Power 4 conferences and you are in the playoff. It doesn't matter what your record is. A Florida loss in Gainesville tomorrow will be like throwing kerosene on a grease fire. The Gator fans already have had their fill of the operational mess that was Napier's first 2 seasons in Gainesville. The historically bad defenses, the unimaginative offense. But never fear, because Billy Napier believes this is his best team. All but 13 players on the roster have been recruited, high school or the transfer portal, and developed by he and his staff. He likes this team's mentality. He likes its toughness and togetherness. He and his players, including quarterback Graham Mertz, have spoken very confidently all offseason. They've talked about shocking the world. Okay? And real quick, before we go further, typically when people talk about shocking the world, they're whistling through the graveyard. Because that's just talk is all that is. Look, they don't need to shock the world. They need to block on the line of scrimmage and run the ball effectively. They need to tackle better. They need to avoid critical mental breakdowns. They need to create turnovers. Think about this. Of all the bad we've seen from Florida in the last 2 seasons, nothing stands out more than turnovers forced in 2023. Think of all those great Gator defenses over the last 3 decades, 4 decades even. Florida's calling card all that time was defense. Even when Spurrier was there, they played terrific defense, especially when Stoops got involved. They got after people. They created turnovers. They dictated tempo. Florida last year forced, are you ready for this? 7 turnovers. 7 in 12 games. 7. One shy of being last in FBS. Now, you can talk all you want about playing better defensively by stopping the run, and covering better in the secondary, and getting off the field on 3rd down, and all those things that coaches love to say to make them sound, smart and effective, and this is what we're doing. You can even focus on the nearly 5 yards per play Florida gave up in 2023, which is an astounding number. 5 yards per play. The nation's leader, I believe it was Michigan, was at 2.2. But nothing is more damning than those 7 turnovers because turnovers change momentum. They lead to short fields for your offense. They lead to stress on the other sideline. Ask any football coach at any level, and they'll tell you the same thing over and over. Games are won with turnovers. The more you force, the better your chances of winning games. You want a key to tomorrow's game? Look at the turnovers. Who makes a key mistake and who takes advantage of it? All right, we're out of the tunnel. Hit the text line brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. Give us your thoughts, 641-1010. JJ, am I that off there?
No, I agree. I think it'll come down to something, fumble, muff, or the punter drops the snap or something like that. Cam Ward maybe out of the pocket fumbles, or I guarantee it'll come down to some turnover. In close games like this, it always does. So, no, I agree. I think the Florida State game last week, that was an anomaly. For a week 1 game with, basically no turnovers or flags on either team, really, that was crazy. I expect the complete opposite antithesis this weekend in Gainesville.
Well, so I will say this, and this was kind of my point when I was saying that both Billy Napier and Mario Cristobal, they're very similar, eerily similar in what they've done and how it's been executed in each of those programs. Florida State played poorly. They played poorly against Georgia Tech. There's no doubt. Okay, they didn't turn the ball over. And I think at the very least, you've got that as your foundation, that they're going to be a team that's smart, that's careful with the ball, and typically will get turnovers. Whereas Miami and Florida, the last 2 years, you have no idea what's going to happen game to game. Are they going to protect the ball? Are they going to get turnovers? And that's look, that's the game. I keep saying this over and over. That is the game. That's where it's won. Because even if you're going back and forth and they're stopping you and you're stopping them, or you're scoring and they're scoring, at some point a turnover will change the momentum of the game and change everything. If you go through a 12-game season, 12 games, and you force 7 turnovers, you've got a gigantic problem. Now, Ron Roberts is the new DC. He's not the new DC in name or title. It's still Chris Farley. But Ron Roberts is the guy who will have a huge impact on that defense this year. That's the guy they believe can change things, turn things around for the defense. He worked with Billy Pryor at Lafayette, which is now just University of Louisiana, and they had success there. So he also did a good job last year at Auburn. So I look at that as a plus for Florida, but at the end of the day, this is going to come down to how do you affect the quarterback, which is what every big game comes down to. It's who's the best quarterback and how do you affect that quarterback. And if you look at what Miami's got on the edge as opposed to what Florida has with its pass rush, you absolutely give the edge to Miami. Now, especially offensive lines. If you look at Miami's offensive line and Florida's offensive line, you give the edge to Miami. Now, there is something to Cam Ward's first game in this big environment. He's played in Washington, which is a very loud place to play, in a big environment game, the Apple Cup, which is a bitter rivalry, Washington State. He played at Oregon, where that place is nuts. You know, they don't call it the Autzen Zoo for nothing. So I don't know that the environment is going to mess with him. I think the big game, the idea of playing this big game in this huge stadium on the road,
with
that
much
might
expectation,
take.
too. Like, when you're at Wazoo and you're playing Oregon, like, yeah, it's
regionally
pretty
big.
damn loud.
Right,
but
right.
You're not supposed to do anything in that game.
Right,
There's
you're
really
not
no
living and
pressure
dying.
on you. This is like, you're the ACC preseason player of the year. You were about to go to the NFL. Instead, you decided to come back to Miami. Like, this entire fan base has put so much pressure on your shoulders. So it's completely different.
It's different in that aspect. It's different in the enormity of the situation. If you don't think that Cam Ward realizes that, you know, if he doesn't play well, they don't win, and all of a sudden it's going to affect Mario Cristobal. If you don't think that Graham Mertz doesn't know that if he doesn't play well and they don't win, it's going to be bad news for Billy Napier. Of course these guys know this. Of course they do. This idea that all coaches say, well, we don't read newspapers or you know, we don't read the internet or listen to talk radio or watch TV. Of course they do. Trust me, they do. So this stuff affects players, and it will affect players week after week. That's why stuff, when the ball gets rolling poorly in the wrong direction, and you're a coach that's on the hot seat, that's why more times than not, it gets much, much worse. Because everybody on the roster feels it, everybody on the roster starts stressing, and it all unravels. And I'm not saying that's what both coaches are looking at this year, but the loser of this game is going to be in a difficult spot right out of the gate. Can it be turned around? Of course it can. But it's going to be a heavy, heavy lift. All right, we need to go to the first break here. We're going to come back, get deep into these games, talk more about not only Miami and Florida, but we're going to talk about Georgia, Clemson. We're going to talk about Penn State and West Virginia. We're going to talk about USC and LSU. Does anybody play defense in that game? We're going to get into a lot of these games. Coming back on the other side, it's XL Primetime.
Celebrate a new season.
Don't hold nothing back.
1010XL's college kickoff coverage is brought to you by Jenkins Genesis of Northeast Florida and Island Oaks RV Park.
Do not start celebrating too early.
On 1010XL.
Rejoice.
Here's Linda Beaver.
Hey, school's in session, and here's today's lesson. We have hundreds of certified vehicles to choose from, starting as low as $89.99. Plus, they come with a 7-year, 100,000-mile peace of mind warranty and free oil changes. That means you and your soon-to-be drivers will be protected. Plus, every purchase allows us to fund teachers' projects for the entire school year. Your next assignment, get to Beaver Toyota in St. Augustine or Beaver Chevrolet in Jacksonville. Deadline August 31st. We're here to wow you and our teachers.
This right here is as good as it gets. This is life getting lived without obligations or complications. This is filling your cup and savoring the moment. This is the gift of presence, served to you in a place where there's room for everyone and enough to go around. And the best part, it's always Sonny's here. Sonny's Barbecue, local pitmasters since '68.
Hey gang, Hicken here for Zero Res. Man, it is hot outside this time of the year. Many of us are staying inside or going to the pool. Well, my friends at Zero Res are also heating things up. As you know, Zero Res does a great job of cleaning carpets and rugs, but they also clean luxury vinyl planking, tile and grout, fine stone and hardwood floors. And right now, the hottest price of the year, 25% off all hardwood cleaning. That's 25% off tile, LVP, fine stone, and hardwood floors. Zero Res, man. Spell it forward. Zero Res, spell it back. It's the right way to clean.
Zero Res.
This summer, beat the heat at Best Bet, your premier poker destination. Whether you're a seasoned poker pro or a first-time card player, you'll find a cool retreat from the summer heat with thrilling poker games, big payouts, and refreshing drinks. Join us for an unforgettable experience. Cool off and cash in at Best Bet. The stakes are high, the cards are hot, and your chance for fun is guaranteed. Visit bestbetjacks.com to learn more. That's bestbetjacks.com.
Every Friday night in every town in America, communities come together for a time-honored tradition.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialist Friday Night Lights.
Presented by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning on 1010XL.
Mudville Grill has been Jacksonville's favorite family sports bar and grill for 30 years. Mudville is a proud sponsor of Bishop Kenny football and owned by a proud BK alum. Mudville is one of Jacksonville's landmark restaurants and is conveniently at 3105 Beach Boulevard. Make Mudville your pregame tailgate spot with daily food and drink specials. Mudville offers up great food in a great atmosphere and most importantly has a great staff. Mudville Grill, just down the street from BK. Go Crusaders!
When all you have is a hammer, everything is a nail. I'm Dr. George Bari, and like me, I know you have been bombarded with PRP and stem cell treatments from companies that promise the world and charge prices to match. Or the surgeon that convinced you the only way to treat your injuries through surgery. At Bari Orthopedics, we offer the best PRP treatment on the market with prices that won't cost you an arm and a leg. We also have the expertise to treat your injury surgically if that is what it entails. We can discuss all surgical and non-surgical options with you and make sure you get the best treatment available. Come see me, Dr. George Bari at Bari Orthopedics.
SportsForecaster.com has all the data you need to project tomorrow's winners. Register for free and track the performance of all your favorite players and teams, including all your fantasy team picks and prospects. Sports Forecaster has the most detailed player profiles on the web, precise depth charts, every transaction, every injury, every news update. No ranting or raving, no preening or barstool bluster. At SportsForecaster.com, you get the timely info you need for every game. SportsForecaster.com. Sign up for free today.
You go into your shower feeling, but as soon as you reach for the Irish Spring, your day immediately gets better. That crisp, fresh, unmistakable Irish Spring scent zings your brain and awakens your senses. So when you finally emerge from the shower, 37 minutes later, because you pay the water bill so you can stay in there as long as you want, you're ready to take on the day and smell great doing it. Irish Spring Body Wash and Bar Soap. Fresh, green, Irish. Shop now at Walmart.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This is the Bueller Air and Plumbing College Kickoff. Brought to you by Sonny's Barbecue on 1010XL.
Yeah, we're back, and all that talk of turnovers. I had a massive turnover. Forgot to tell you guys to call in. You want to join the picks and try and win that sweet Sunny swag bag. Fourth caller right now, 641-1010, can pick against JJ and I for a chance to win a sweet Sunny swag bag. That's a turnover on me. Also, by the way, the turnover when I said it's XL Primetime. When it's not XL Primetime, it's the College Football Kickoff Show. Brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing, and of course, our good friends at Sunny's Real Pit Barbecue. All right, let's get into some more of these games because one game that's just, for some reason, flying under the radar. It's right out of the gate at noon. Georgia and Clemson. It's such a big game on both sides. And I know it's hard to see this as a big game for Georgia because Georgia's dominated college football for so long. The 29 straight wins. I mean, honestly, Georgia was a handful of plays from beating Alabama in that SEC championship game. Probably played its worst game in a year and a half, maybe. And just was a handful of plays from beating Alabama. And does anyone really believe that Georgia wouldn't have just absolutely rolled through that playoff? Because they would have. And it would have been 3 straight. And it would have just been, we would be in the middle of just a gigantic dynasty that Kirby is building right now. Instead, you lose the SEC championship game. You're out of the playoff. You go to a meaningless bowl game against a Florida State team that lost more than half of its elite players because they were opting out because they didn't want to get hurt, and good on them. I wouldn't want to get hurt either and ruin my chance with the NFL. And you win by 18,000 points, and nobody cares anymore. So now Georgia's kind of got to get its mojo back. okay? It starts right out of the gate, noon, in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, which will be a de facto Georgia home game. There will be Clemson fans there. There's no doubt about that, okay? But this is a situation where Georgia's got to get right and get right quickly. And they're going up against a program in Clemson that not so long ago, it was Alabama at 1 and Clemson right at 1A, and every once in a while it was Clemson at 1 and Alabama at 1A. Dabo won 2 national titles. 2. In fact, earlier this week on 1010XL, we were kind of joking, Joe Coward and I. He had this trivia question of, what national championship coaches remain in college football? And, I thought of, okay, Mac Brown and Kirby Smart. And I wasn't even thinking about Dabo. And I can guarantee you there's many of you out there that weren't thinking about Dabo either. Because out of sight, out of mind right now. We are, we're 4 years removed from Trevor's last season where it was at least, look, they've got a chance to win it all. Now you're looking at Clemson, and we're deep into this NIL era where you're paying players and you're going in the portal and you're getting players to supplement your roster. And everybody is benefiting off it. Everybody except Dabo, because Dabo doesn't want to do that. Dabo has said over and over and over that his transfer portal is his current roster. And that if he keeps his current roster happy, they will win games and they will win championships. Well, they haven't done it since. And now here we are in this mega matchup, non-conference matchup, where Georgia, their former bully, steps into the ring against the current bully. The current bully who, frankly, is a little pissed off by the way last year ended. And now here we go with Clemson. Now this has become a referendum on the way Dabo is building his ball club. And look, I don't mind it at all. It's a philosophical decision. I don't mind it. I think he's probably shorting himself because I think there's clearly, if you can get a handful of players that can help you, like Nick Saban did in the past, like Kirby Smart has done, like Ryan Day did. Ryan Day went out and got the best defensive player in the country in Caleb Downs. Look what Lane Kiffin did. Look what Brian Kelly's done at LSU. Clearly, we see how this works. Washington did it as well under Kalen DeBoer. That's how they got so good so quick. So it works. There's no doubt it works. It's a philosophical decision that Dabo has made that he's going to trust the way his coaching staff recruits high school players, the way his staff develops high school players, and the way he gets his team ready to play. So look, if Clemson goes out there and beats Georgia, which, look, Clemson's got a very good defense, and I think Cade Klubnik is going to play a lot better than he did last year, the Clemson quarterback who struggled a little bit under first-year OC Garrett Riley. He will play better this year, okay? They'll run the ball. The offensive line's much better. Phil Moffitt's an elite running back. They need wide receivers. Look, the reason, you can point to a lot of things why Clemson has regressed a little bit. I say it's more offensive line than anything. But they haven't had that impact receiver, that Justin Ross, that Mike Williams, that T. Higgins. They haven't had that guy in a few years. Now, they like Tyler Brown. They like 5-star freshman Bryant Wesco. Maybe one of those guys steps up in this game. Maybe. Or maybe Georgia comes out and does what Georgia does all the time. Maybe Georgia comes out and does what it did against Bo Nix in Oregon 2 years ago. My gosh, if Georgia comes out and does that, and you see a 38-10 score, and you see Clemson look a whole lot like Wake Forest, that's going to be a problem. That's going to be a big problem for Dabo Swinney. Because, again, this is a referendum for him. You can say, yeah, he's a national championship coach. But when you step back into the ring against the big bully, and you say, this is how we're doing it, I don't care what anyone says, this is my philosophy, we've won championships here before, this is what we're doing, and then you go out and get a 28-point knot on your head, oh boy. There will be some unhappy people in Clemson, not including the caller from Spartanburg that got Dabo all sideways last year.
Was it Kyle?
Yeah, I can't even remember.
Kyle or Ryan or something?
Tyler, I think it was. Tyler.
Yes.
Tyler and Spartanburg. Boy, Dabo got all sideways about that. I think it's going to be a good game. I think it'll be a lot closer than you think. All right, we need to go to break. We're going to come back, and we're going to talk with Rick Ballou about the Knowles. It's our weekly segment with Ballou, with the Truth Teller. Come back on the other side. It's the college football kickoff, brought to you by Bueller Air Conditioning and Plumbing and Sonny's Real Pit Barbecue.
1010XL is multimedia. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube.
You can't buy this kind of media exposure.
1010XL, maximum media exposure.
Frank Frangie here. Ready to experience used for you? You can with Car Bravo at Nimnicht Buick GMC, Jacksonville's only Car Bravo certified dealer. Buying a certified used vehicle has never felt better. With Car Bravo, Nimnicht Buick GMC can certify all makes and models: Honda, Toyota, Kia, Mazda, Ford. With promotional rates as low as 2.9% APR, now is the time to shop certified used vehicles at Nimnicht Buick GMC. Who gives you top dollar for your trade? Nobody but Nimnicht. Shop online at Nimnicht Buick GMC. GMC, we are professional grade.
Ballou here for Smunez Vision. Why Smunez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smunez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smunez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smunez is fellowship trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmunezVision.com today. Care you can see.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. From GFL, Green for Life.
Are you considering a brand new home? If so, contact your new home counselors, Marnie Oman and Lori Harrison, with local builder Riverside Homes. With their experience and knowledge, they can assist you with either building or buying your new Riverside home in Wildlight or Amelia National Golf and Country Club. Call Marnie at 904-710-3636 or Lori at 229-327-6454 so that they can learn more about what's most important to you about the home you want to come home to every day.
Hunters Know Patience is part of the game.
Just got to keep hunting.
Jeff Lageman, Captain Kevin Faber, and Captain Kirk Waltz on the Nimnicht Outdoors Show. Presented by Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning. Saturday morning from 7 to 10 on 1010XL.
Are you 18 years or older, just got married, just got divorced, or have children? Listen up. Have you done your last will and estate planning? If you have questions, call Matt Hinson with the Hinson Law Firm. Reach him at 527-1700, offices Jacksonville, Florida. And don't let the state decide your fate.
These are the last days for Monahan Jewelers store-wide 50 to 60% off sale. These are the biggest savings we could possibly offer, with everything on display discounted 50 to 60% off, ending Saturday, August 31st. We bought so much brand new jewelry that we need to make room for it, and the only way to do that is to give you huge deals at 50 to 60% off everything. And the sale ends Saturday, August 31st. Diamond jewelry, colored gemstones, gold chains, everything on display is 50 to 60% off at Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
I'm Taylor Rose with our Remedy Staffing Westside office off of Normandy Boulevard. We are helping great people find great jobs. Remedy has helped some of the best employers in Jacksonville find talented job seekers like you for over 25 years. Our current job openings range from entry-level distribution center pickers to equipment operators. Apply today at remedygoodjobs.com. Don't wait. Apply at remedygoodjobs.com now.
If you're looking for the best in indoor air quality, I've got the experts to call. Florida Home AC, the official AC provider of the Jaguars, specializing in the best air quality for your home or work with the Remy Halo. Instead of waiting for pollutants to travel through the ductwork to be neutralized, the Halo cell releases friendly oxidizers every time your fan blows air, helping those in your home that suffer from allergies and other respiratory issues. Call 777-4300 for Florida Home AC and start enjoying cool comfort and clean air.
Hey, sports fans, this is Hayes Carlyon from MyBookie. Oh, Gators, Canes, Georgia, Clemson, LSU, USC, Florida State, Georgia Tech, and of course, Jaguars, Dolphins. It is here, and are you ready for the ultimate football season? Using MyBookie Sportsbook and Casino platform, you can bet on every game and win anytime, anywhere, straight from your mobile device. No app needed. Just click my link, sign up, and you're ready to rock. When you bet with MyBookie, you're not just watching the games, you're investing in every moment of action. I'll say it from experience, a few bucks on the line can turn any regular game into one of the most exciting of the season because you don't have to bet very much. Don't forget to use promo code 1010XL when signing up to claim a $1,000 bonus on your first deposit. Again, promo code 1010XL. Get that bonus. Don't let that pass you by. Bet anything, anywhere, anytime, only with MyBookie. And don't forget that promo code 1010XL.
This is Dr. Steve Crenshaw, Assistant Team Physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jaguars brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
The Jaguars signed former Ravens receiver Devin Duvernay during the offseason to be a versatile tool on offense as well as special teams. Here's special teams coordinator Heath Farwell on the addition of Duvernay.
I mean, Devin Duvernay's a former All-Pro. Parker's done a fantastic job for us. But Devin Duvernay's, a stud, and he's a great returner from, going back to his Baltimore days, and that's who we'll have back there.
Having a speedster such as Duvernay returning punts will be dangerous as he racked up 886 punt return yards, 1,811 kick return yards, and 2 kick return touchdowns in his 4 seasons with the Ravens. Duvernay is a big add for the special teams unit. I'm Max Fink with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Now, the Seminole Point of View with Rick Ballou. Brought to you by Vaughn Motor Group on San Jose Boulevard. Dream it, drive it.
All right, let's go to the Garber Artemal phone line. Bring up the truth teller himself, Rick Ballou. Ballou, what's going on, man?
Get ready for a little concert here tonight, Matt. Friday night in Jacksonville, Stone Temple Pilots. No place I'd rather be.
Nice. STP. Very good. Yeah. Very good.
And you know what? I haven't showered since the Knowles lost, so I'm going to fit right in with all this grunge here tonight. It's going to be a blast.
You're going to slide right in there. No one will know the difference, man.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, a big weekend of games. I want to get your thoughts on some of the other games, too. But first, let's go to the Knowles. And you've had now a week to digest this. I've been saying all along that I think the Knowles are still a very talented team. I think they're still really good on the lines of scrimmage. That look, they just got outplayed, and I don't think they were ready for it. And I thought they were just going to waltz through this thing. You could tell by the way they were talking the ACC media days. They were making fun of Georgia Tech. So I just don't think they were ready. I think this is kind of a good shock to their system. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it is, and we'll see how they're able to bounce back. But I do think that they need to start to simplify, a few things. You can't be successful the way you are in that first drive and then rotate 3 offensive linemen, even though we understood going in that was part of their plan. And they have 8 guys with a ton of experience in college football. From covering this forever and working with our friend Leon Searcy, you want that continuity and chemistry with the offensive line. So I would like to see far more consistency there. I also don't think you need to have 5 different tailbacks in your first 2 drives. And then, a guy who made plays early on for you, Jalen Lucas, was basically shut down the second half. He only ended up with 7 snaps. Throw the football. Have some faith in your quarterback, who now has made 41 career starts as a quarterback. Allow him to throw the football downfield. Now, there are some that are saying that opportunity was there for him, but he checked down. And I know that's been a little bit of a concern in his career at Clemson and Oregon State as well. So, yeah, there's quite a few issues, but I still think for the most part they're fixable. The one that I'm not sure is some lack of effort on that defensive line. That to me is the most alarming part out of what I saw. Those kids all got paid, and they're getting paid a significant amount of money. But I got to believe their NFL value is going to drop week after week. You do not want to have the label of Your motor's not always running. You take plays off. Outside of bad character, that is probably the worst thing that you can have as you make the advance from college football to the NFL.
All right, so listen, I don't want to continue to regurgitate this, but I will say one thing to wrap it up, and I want to get your thoughts on this. Lucas might be their most dangerous guy in that offense. But I don't, and I'm with you. Like, I don't understand why they didn't get him the ball. But it's more than that. It's how did you not have a game plan to specifically use him? Because it looked like in the first drive he touched the ball how many times? 5 times in the first drive. Yeah. How do you go from that to completely forgetting about him? Do you think that's part and parcel because Atkins wasn't there, or do you think it's just however they changed what they were doing?
No, I think it was a total miss. I mean, I was shocked that Holmes got to carry that early. I was shocked they went to the true freshman Cam Davis that early, and I think Cam Davis is going to be, a star eventually. But in a game like this, especially after you saw what Georgia Tech did when they responded, I mean, it's one thing if Tech's struggling and you're having 3 and outs or whatever, but Tech totally responded right after the fact and had a drive themselves. So I would think that you would stay with, what is working. And, you look at that second drive, instead of getting the ball more to a guy like Jalen Lucas, it starts raining. It starts pouring. And you throw a pass to a true freshman in Cam Davis, who only played 4 games a year ago, and he drops it. Now, I get it. If he catches the ball, he's got a ton of yardage. He picks up maybe 25, 30, 35 yards, and we never say anything negative about it. But it also did not happen, and he dropped it. So then you say to yourself, why are you playing so many different players when it should be Lucas and Toafili who are getting the ball? Find ways to get those guys the football. Toafili scored on that touchdown. If you're going to go to your bell cow, make it Roydell Williams. And I hope that that's what they do Monday night against Boston College.
So I was wrong, by the way. Lucas touched the ball 3 times.
He only played 7 plays.
They had 57 plays in the game, and he touched it 3 times. That has got to change. All right, this week.
Matt, they left him in the second half to pass block. He weighs 165 pounds, a blitzing linebacker. If there was ever a back that you would roll out for a screen, it's Jalen Lucas. Out of all the big backs that they have, they left him in to pass protect for DJ Uiagalelei. It's another example of just showing how outcoached they were in this contest.
All right, let's go to the Monday game real quick. Boston College is coming in, home opener. Thomas Castellanos is going to be a problem, not only for Florida State, for anyone this year. I mean, I think Bill O'Brien's going to use him in a lot of different ways, and they're going to be a dangerous team on offense. I don't know if they have enough to beat Florida State in that game, but certainly Florida State's eyes are now open for this game, are they not?
There's no doubt. And listen, he was a problem last year. Florida State won that game 31-29. This is another smart football team. They're not as talented as Georgia Tech. Still, they're a big offensive line. Bill O'Brien is a coach who's pretty savvy. He's got Doug Marrone upstairs, another former college and obviously a head coach here in Jacksonville. And misdirection could kill this football team. I mean, you just look at their lack of eye discipline, not staying at home. I know it's viral, and I know you watched the game, but I'm sure you saw it. The very first play from scrimmage, Georgia Tech went 42 yards. This is not embellishment. You could literally drive a Zamboni through the hole. It was like 15 yards wide. It was, DJ Lundy way over pursued. Omar Graham was nowhere near where he was supposed to be. So, man, you have got to get back to the simple basics of reading your keys and stay at home. And don't give me that you're extra aggressive. Stay where you're supposed to be with your gap responsibility. They were all over the place. And when you take on a smart team and a team that will run counters and reverses and misdirections, they'll kill you. And that's what Tech did. And I got to believe Bill O'Brien and Doug Marrone right now and others are looking at that film saying, we have a chance if we can successfully do this.
All right, real quick, man. Last question. Your thoughts on Florida, Miami. Who do you like?
I think it's going to be a tremendous game. The one stat I can't overlook is Florida winning 33 straight home openers. I remember 2 years ago really making a big play for Utah, and we saw what happened. The difference here is Miami's used to the heat, and I just think Miami is so incredibly talented. They have maybe the ACC quarterback, running back, and wide receiver who have all entered, the university from the transfer portal, and they're so electrifying. I just think if Miami doesn't allow Cam Ward to fumble the football, and he's been the Trevor Lawrence version of really some costly fumbles and untimely fumbles. I think if he takes care of the ball and Miami runs it, they ran it for 173 yards a game last year. They should be able to win this game. But I also think, Matt, early in the season, there'll be some mistakes, and you'll see some breakdowns defensively, which will lead to some long touchdowns. So I think this is going to be a little bit more scoring than people anticipate, even with the new clock rules. But I think when it's all said and done, Miami's going to hang on here. I like them like a 28-24 type of victory coming up on tomorrow right here on these airwaves.
Awesome. Well done. Well done. He's Rick Ballou. Appreciate it, Truth Teller. We'll talk to you next week.
All right, Matt. Thank you.
Just real quick. Thomas Castellano, by the way, last year for BC. This dude, when I'm telling you he's going to cause problems for people, they were in a bad system last year, in a team that really had no direction. He threw for 2,300 yards and 15 touchdowns, and he rushed for another 1,100 yards and 13 touchdowns. This dude's going to be a problem for people. It's not going to be an easy game Monday night. I think BC is going to play them really tough. It'll be a second half game, but the nose will pull away. But it's going to be. This is a gut check game. There's no doubt about it for Florida State. All right, let's get to our picks.
Yes.
Let's bring Ralph aboard, and we're going to get into these things. All right, JJ, take it away.
Where you want me to
We're
start?
You start.
So, Ralph,
you're
here's
running
the
the
deal.
show, man.
These are points against the spread. We're not doing anything easy, just picking winners. So we'll let you go first on all these games.
Correct.
So first one up, Ralph. Penn State at West Virginia. Penn State is a 7.5-point favorite on the road. Who you got?
I got West Virginia on that one, brother.
Maddie?
You know what? I think Drew Allers played a lot better than people give him credit for. People say he doesn't take chances down the field. He was in an offense that wasn't allowing him to do things. Andy Kotelnicki, the new OC, comes from Kansas. Wait and see how different that offense is. I think it's Penn State's going to struggle early, but they'll get out of that. They might even cover. But I am going to still take the points in West Virginia.
Okay, I put Penn State, then I crossed it out, and then I put West Virginia, and then I crossed it out, and I put Penn State again. So I'm going with Penn State. All right, Ralph. Next up, high noon, Georgia, Clemson, neutral site game. Georgia is a 12.5-point favorite.
Wow. And see, I think Dabo's going to find out not going through that
transfer portal.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I want to take Georgia without a doubt on that one.
All right, so here's the thing with this game, JJ, is I look at this game, and the one thing that I think is getting overlooked is, in Georgia's back-to-back national championship seasons, they crushed people in their run defense. Crushed them. They were giving up like less than 70 yards each season. They gave up, I think, 140 or high 130s last year. If Clemson can run the ball with Phil Moffitt and they can do some play-action stuff, I think they're going to hang in this game. I'm going to take Clemson in the points.
Wow, Shipley no longer there, correct? I'm going to go with Georgia. I think they win by like 20 points in this game, honestly. So I'm going with the Dogs. All right, next one for Ralph. Notre Dame at Texas A&M. Texas A&M at home, 2.5-point favorites.
College Station's always hard to play. I've been there before, and it's loud as heck, but I'm still going to go with Notre Dame on this one.
All right, Notre Dame's got 6 combined starts on the offensive line. The strength of Texas A&M is its defensive line. Have one of the top 3 defensive lines in the SEC. And Mike Elko is a terrific defense coach. Plus, he knows his old quarterback, Riley Leonard, who I love, by the way, who now is the starter at Notre Dame. He was a starter at Duke. If Notre Dame can protect Riley Leonard, I think they have a chance. If they don't, this is going to be like an ugly 20-6 game. I'm taking A&M all the way.
Nice. All right. Yeah, I agree. I'm taking Texas A&M to win and to cover. All right. This one's out of left field, but it's a fun one. San Diego State.
South Dakota State.
Excuse me. I just put SDS. South Dakota State, who's much better than San Diego State. At Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State, 9.5-point favorites. Ralph.
No. 9.5 point. Yeah, 9 favorites. You're right.
Listen, if you want me to do the picks, let me do the picks, Matt. Damn it. Go ahead, Ralph.
I think I'm going to go with Oklahoma State.
All right.
Ralph, listen up. And everybody else out there, listen up.
Upset alert.
South Dakota State's won 29 straight games. They're back-to-back FCS champions. And if you watched that game last night in Colorado, there's some FCS teams that can play.
And
9.5
Dakotas
is a big number, especially for an Oklahoma State team that historically, under Mike Gundy, who I love, friend of XL Primetime, they struggle in the season openers. I'm going to take San Diego. See, you did it again. South Dakota State, 9.5.
All right.
Oh.
And last but certainly not least, Ralph, in Gainesville, Miami against the Gators. Miami on the road, a 2.5-point favorite. Who do you got?
Well, a lot of people were thinking Miami's going to do it, but I have a strong gut feeling. I'm going to go with my Gators, and they're going to eat them up. They're going to eat them up.
Whoa.
Yeah,
wow.
Without a doubt. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of experts going to say, uh-oh, look out for the Gators.
All right, I can tell you this. I have
You know how sick that would make me, Ralph, if that happened? Go ahead, Matt.
It would make you and Leon so sick. I can tell you this. I have been leaning Miami for I don't know how long. And, in the last few days, I started thinking, wait a second. This thing could look a lot like the Tennessee game last year. When you're thinking, there's no way Florida can stop that pass game. There's no way that they can stop Pierce off the edge. And they figured it out because they ran the ball. Because that was one of the few games where their offensive line was healthy. So now here we are in a game where everybody in that offensive line's got 8.5 months to actually more than that for Florida because they didn't play in a bowl game. So they had 9 months to get healthy, including Austin Barber, who's the best guy in that line. 9 months to get healthy. I think they're going to be healthy. I think they're going to run the ball. And, JJ, I hate to say this to you, but I think they're winning that game outright.
Yeah, I agree. I've been saying it for months. I think Miami will eventually be like a better team than Florida, but not week one, not in the swamp, not with a brand new quarterback at the helm. I'm going to go with Florida to win, straight up, like you said. And I think it'll be an ugly, ugly game, sort of like the one in Orlando a couple years ago. A lot of sacks, maybe some fumbles. So, yeah, I think Florida 24-21. And let's remind Ralph what he wins if he beats both of us.
Now, Ralph, you got to beat both of us. You can't just beat me or beat JJ. You got to beat both of us. And if you do, you get a sweet Sunny swag bag. And I've seen them. They're sweet. So good luck, brother.
All right. Thanks. I enjoyed it, guys. Thank you.
All right, man. Yeah, it's that's – and I don't know – I actually don't know why that I've suddenly turned to Florida. I keep thinking about that Tennessee game. And I keep thinking about how they were so geeked for that game, that team was. They played their best game of the season in that game, and their offensive line was healthy. And, the crowd got that defense just amped up. Tennessee made some mistakes in the first half. A lot of it had to do with the crowd and the noise, and you got false starts, and you had a key false start on a third down. And those kind of lost yards are so critical in games like this, man. When it's 3rd and 2 and you're driving and you're in you're in the positive side of the field and you think, all right, here we go, get this first down.
Your right tackle jumps.
Yeah, you got 17 yards to go and you score and you take the lead and you're feeling good about yourself. That's what you can see it happen. You can literally see it playing out, right? And then your right tackle jumps. And it's 3rd and 7. And then you're trying to make a play. And you get sacked, and it's a strip sack and a fumble, and the other guy picks it up. Look, we've all seen this. We've seen this happen. And I kind of think that's what we're looking at right now. As much as I know that the Canes have a better roster. They do. They have the better talent. I just think that you're going to be in a situation where the enormity of this game, at the very least, will be a factor for Florida for at least 2 quarters. Just like last year in the Tennessee game. For 2 quarters, Florida beat the hell out of Tennessee. Once Tennessee realized, all right, it's just another game, let's get after it. In the second half, it was too late.
Florida, didn't do anything.
Yeah, it was just too late, man. Florida just held the ball and went 4 corners on them like Dean Smith in North Carolina. And if they can do that again tomorrow night, you're going to see a very similar situation play out in Gainesville. And then, of course, it will be sheer panic for Canes fans, especially Leon, by the way, Leon Searcy today on XL Primetime. actually said the Canes are winning 33-14. All right, we got Bishop Kenny and Episcopal coming up on the FM. Bowles and Trinity Christian on the AM. Have fun, everybody. Eat, drink, get fat, get happy, and enjoy the games.